Let's move on now. Aam Aadmi Party has sacked their own Mantri. I would like to introduce Jasmine Shah, spokesperson of the Aam Aadmi Party, Vice Chairman of the Dialogue and Development Commission of the Delhi government, and Sukhpreet Singh, leader of the BJP. Now, Sukhpreet Singh ji was on my show on a sister channel, NDTV India, and Jasmine, he says that everybody in Punjab got to know that here is a man who's corrupt. And then all of this would have come down heavily on the Aam Aadmi Party, would have meant bad publicity, and thus as damage control, the Aam Aadmi Party has made a virtue out of what would have otherwise been seen as an act of corruption in their own government. How would you respond?
Sanket, it is very easy. Opposition politician. That's always been happening in Indian politics. It is almost impossible to sack your own sitting chief minister, especially when your government has been formed for the first time and within days and within months of doing that. It has happened only twice in the history of Indian politics. In 2015, it happened in Delhi when CM Arvind Kejriwal, fighting on the plank of corruption, found some evidence from a volunteer, not from police or some media. A volunteer forwarded an evidence. He found it convincing. He sacked his minister in Delhi. Today, CM Bhagwant Mann acted in the same manner and in thereby doing so as upheld the trust and the faith that the people of India have in Aam Aadmi Party as the only party that walks the talk when it comes on corruption. How many ministers have been there in BJP in Congress in the last 75 years in our country's history, in independent India? Tell me how many of them sitting ministers have been sacked by their own chief ministers? Zero. And that tells you today that today is a historic day in Indian politics. Today's message, today's action sends a signal down the rank and file of Aam Aadmi Party that we are a party born out of a movement, and come may what, you can be a cabinet minister, you can be an MLA.
Singla's arrest is a signal, not just to the Aam Aadmi Party, but for the opposition also. Sukhpreet Singh, how do you respond?
Have you ever seen any parent rewarding their child for cheating? Here, Mr. Kejriwal rewarding his own team, proud of you. And it is like self-certification. It is like a self-certification. Creating own news. Let the public decide. Let the public decide what they have done. It was going on social media. Everybody was. These candidates has been selected by Arvind Kejriwal itself. They have told everyone that these candidates, we have selected these candidates after thorough investigation.
So you're saying that Arvind Kejriwal has to take accountability about the fact that his own selection went wrong.
Yeah, AAP minister is corrupt. Mr. Mann selected him as a minister. Mr. Mann should have resigned as a moral responsibility.
Jasmine Shah. Jasmine, how would you respond?
Select the right people.
Sukhpreet Singh says that this is your screening process which is faulty.
It's only 2 months.
Saket,
within 2 months. Okay. I've heard your question.
Within 2 months.
Saket, before I come to responding to that question.
You are giving
let's not forget
certification
that BJP today standing and lecturing
one moment. Let him respond. I've heard your question.
Can I please respond?
Right.
Can I please respond? First and foremost, Saket, I want to make the point that BJP today standing and talking about morality and corruption, when in the last 8 years, under the leadership of Modi and Amit Shah, they have just completely transformed Indian politics into a stock market of buying and selling MLAs. State after state.
It is your view, no? It is your view, not public view. Otherwise, would
10 crores, 50 crores.
It is your view. You have not found even a single corruption in Modi government. After
it is your police.
There is not a single instance, sir. There is not a single instance. You tell me where you have found Mr. Modi into corruption. Everybody knows that Modi is an honest person.
I did not interrupt you, Saket. I did not interrupt you.
Sukhpreet ji, please, 1 moment. I'm going to come back to you. You'll get your right to reply, but please let Mr. Shah speak.
Saket, coming to the fact that...
My name is Sanket, sir.
Sanket, coming to the instance in Punjab. Yes, obviously we are unhappy about the fact that something like this has happened. But we had the courage to act on our ministers. How many of the BJP and Congress ministers have indulged in corruption? Their names have been found in suicide notes. Has even one of them been sacked? No. So we today, at the end of the day, we stand, it is our conscience that has made us act. It is the faith that the people of Punjab have imposed. Punjab has never seen an action like this, a sitting CM sacking his own minister in a suo moto manner before, opposition or media. Nobody had to tell the CM that this is serious business. The CM decided that no.
My question is different. My question is, based on what the BJP has just said, Mr. Sukhpreet Singh says that here is a case where this would have already come out. This information would have come out, bringing bad publicity to the Aam Aadmi Party, and thus as damage control this has been done.
No, it is obviously it is a job of the opposition to say what they want to say. I'm not going to respond to that. Everybody knows BJP's track record on how dirty they have made Indian politics. Today is the day to know the fact that Aam Aadmi Party today has a zero tolerance for
corruption. Sukhpreet Singh's time now.
Sir,
Mr. Singh's
I need to know why they have put it in public domain. In order to gain cheap publicity, self-created image. Both Mr. Kejriwal and Mr. Mann are appreciating each other to give credit to each other. See,
sir,
what is going on.
It takes courage to walk the talk.
Wow.
People have never had courage.
You are doing corruption.
Shall I start listing out the number of corrupt leaders that you have in your party?
And you are
Please stop lecturing on morality and corruption.
You have done
it is BJP that has made the entire Indian politics a cesspool of money, where you reduce it to only buying and selling MLAs. कितनी सरकार आपने गिराई है MLA को खरीद कर और बेच कर?
अरे सर, आपके बंदे आप चेक कीजिए ना, आप चेक कीजिए, आप एक इंस्टेंस दे पाए आप मोदी गवर्नमेंट को जो ईमानदारी के अलावा आप कुछ कर पाए हो? मोदी जैसा ऑनेस्ट आदमी अभी तक हिंदुस्तान में कोई नहीं है सर. आप ऐसा नेता कोई दे नहीं पाए.
It's your duty to sing praises for your leaders, but the point is that जनता सब जानती है, and if who is able to convince the people is going to be more important. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Sukhpreet ji. Unfortunately, I have run out of time, as well as Mr. Shah. That's a wrap in this edition of Breaking Views. News continues on the other side.